We are live. We are live. Thank you for joining me today. I want to get some music in before my guest comes on. My special guest that I want to highlight today, Leek Monroe. And while I'm waiting for him to come on, I'm gonna just quickly change everything from private to public. You don't gotta hold on to insecurities, but you know we paid the price for you and me. All you really gotta do is just believe. It's not this. What's up, y'all? So I'm waiting for my special guest to come on. I am really excited. This is the wrap up season of season 3 for They Took My Choice Away Survivor Series. Let me kind of turn this down a little bit. Yes. So tonight's highlight, this whole month, I'm highlighting someone that is very special to me, and they are in my immediate circle. We've got let's see, Leek Monroe. That's going to be today, and his story actually inspired They Took My Choice Away Survivor Series. I wanted to give him his flowers for the inspiration behind season 3. Now seasons 3, 3 seasons later, his story is what kicked off They Took My Choice Away Survivor Series. So again, this month is just a really come celebrate with me all month, because I always celebrate all month real big when I'm wrapping up the season. So these are just special people. Everybody out there is special to me, but these are the ones that have been in my corner, that helped me start things up from the ground up, that's poured into my life. So I have to give them their flowers. Um, I think on our next date would be the 8th. That's Wednesday the 8th. So every Wednesday, every Saturday, I've got a special guest that I'm highlighting. And Wednesday the 8th will be my childhood best friend, Elizabeth Williams. I'd want to give her flowers. So I'm just excited. On the 15th, one of my coaches for poetry, my poetry coaches, that's going to be Ambition the Poet. Let's see if I remember these dates. All the dates that are coming up are every Wednesday and every Saturday. I'm going to highlight someone in my immediate circle, my therapist, my mentor. I've got everybody that decided to actually, come live on live. And I want you guys to get a special look on the inside of who's behind Nettie Long Poetry. And so that's what this month is going to be all about. It's just really celebrating people that I love very dearly. You know, um, because oftentimes we think, like, how does she keep going? How does she continue? How does anyone continue the work that they do when they have a good support system? I want to show you what that support system looks like. I want to show you that, I have a therapist. She can validate everything I've ever said. She's going to be on here this month on the 25th. So I was just so blessed and honored to have her even want to share. um, I don't know. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening this month. And I just, you should highlight the people that help you. Um, and at least make sure that they know how much they mean to you. So where are you, Leek? It is 2 p.m. It is 2 p.m. So Leek and I have done quite a few things together. We've done a couple conferences together. We are both advocates of um, fighting against sexual assault, as well as um, just being that vessel to, oh man, to really talk about topics on this subject can be very hard, but it's also very compelling to want to share awareness. Um, so, as we patiently wait for our guests, we'll listen to some music. One of the artists that I like so much that are coming up in the industry is Sam Rivera. He does a song called Yahweh that I love so much, and some other songs. But look him up. He's awesome. A lot of inspiration behind him. All right, just give me a second while I reach out to my guests. He's having some connection problems. The love of my life, yes, you're the light, my God, you're so real. Holy, wanna praise you, holy, wanna love you, holy, wanna sing me, wanna sing me, holy, love my pain, all my pain. I don't deserve you, but I want more of your presence. I just wanna your presence. I just want your presence. Okay, let me check my connections, make sure I'm still good. Yeah, looks like I'm still good. There he is. Oh, finally we got you on.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was
Can you
making
hear
sure.
me?
I can hear you. I'm not lagging or nothing, right? Nothing at all?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. All right, so we
Okay.
got League Monroe on.
Hold on.
You guys, this is my friend. Are you there?
Oh, we live? Oh my
Yeah,
God, we
we
live?
live. Yeah, we've been live.
Oh my God.
I had just went over this whole spiel about why I wanted to bring on these 6 special people. You are one of them. I was just letting everybody know that how I even got the title of They Took My Choice Away Survivor Series was from your story. And I was watching your interview. Somebody had blessed us with I guess they were also like similar to what I'm doing today, like making awareness, bringing people's stories to life, and you know, but I wanted to give everyone and these 6 special people to celebrate with me and also to give them their flowers. So I have to give you your flowers. You have been doing this work. Man, I think I think we started probably, or no, I think you started, and I was like, you know what? If he can do it, I know I can do it too. Started interviewing people and their stories and just making people aware, because part of the problem that I had was that I didn't have anyone to really relate to. I didn't have anyone to, to share my story, so that I could help somebody else. Like, this is just a topic that, when you've been sexually abused, especially as a child, it's not something you actually bring up. Like, hey, I've been sexually abused in my life. Like, it's not something that we actually talk about.
Yeah.
And so you started your podcast, and I love the title of it. You want to let everybody know what the title is?
The title is Mental Health Check-In with Talik.
Yes. And and you would always start, hey, how's your mental health today? And so, oh man, have that right there started, you know how that right there in itself has helped me to ask, you know to bring that as a culture in my own home. Like, how's your mental health today? You know what I mean? And that's how me and my daughters, we communicate. Oh, okay, now it sounds like you're going to need to take a mental health break from your job, when the jobs get too hard. And
Yeah.
so that's been like, you created a little momentum in my home. And
Oh,
so I like to ask people, well, how's your mental health today? It's so important to ask people that, because we always just saying, how you doing today? And we lie. And we say, ah, I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything is well. And you do it with a smile on your face, but we don't really mean it. So I feel like when you say, how's your mental health today? That's
yeah.
something you have to kind of like consider. All right, let me talk about it,
Yeah.
and open up that way. So I just love how you did that. And see, everybody has their own style and their own way of doing things, and I just love the way that he does that. And I love how you've tapped into the celebrity pool of interviewing celebrities. Like, I don't I and all you are is just being your authentic self. I think people need to know that. Like, a lot of these celebrity artists that he's had on his podcast, and follow him if you're not following him. So that way you can catch all the other episodes. He has a ton of interviews. And let me tell you, they're reachable, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Explain to the audience how you would just connect with people, because you want to connect. I have to come to you with some connects. So
Um,
tell the people, how reachable a lot of celebrities are, and how they're willing to talk about mental health.
so when I first started this podcast off, it was just basically mental health check-in Instagram Live. That's what it was. It was Instagram Live. Nettie was a part of that. It was Instagram Live first, and then I was like, I need to change it to a podcast. That's what I was like thinking. Like, maybe I could do that. So I switched everything from Instagram Live to the podcast, and it's been good recording.
Mm-hmm.
Echo?
No, not really.
I thought it was me. But it's been good recording. I'm just so happy with the process. Getting the celebrities on there. I don't know how I did it, but I just don't give up.
Yo.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do give up where I'm just trying. I'm tagging them on Instagram or whatever, but I didn't give up at all.
You didn't. You're doing top models, and I mean, you've gone far. So I just want people to know who you are, at least get the glimpse of who you are. Give me 1 second. I can hear people are coming down. They don't realize I'm on a live, because I always do this at night. Um yeah, my Mama Dukes came down with her whole prophecy going on in her cell phone all out. She wants to make sure that this house is doused in the Lord and covered by the
Yes.
Lord. Um yeah, I just so they took My Choice Away Survivor Series as a direct correlation, and the title came from you, because in your when you were sharing your story, you said that you felt like your choices were taken away. He goes, my choice was taken away, you
Yeah.
know. Um, a lot of who I am today are because of those choices that were taken away. And so, our motto now, together, you and I, are it's time to take those choices back. It's time to, like, it's never too late to work on your mental health. It is never too late to work on just on yourself, learning how to love yourself. And it's not too late to ever to get therapy. I was in my late 30s when that traumatic experience happened in my home, and it was just I knew that my life had to get right, and I needed help. There was just no way I can come out from hell, come out of the deep darks of hell, and be a regular person, you know and so, I just I needed help. So, I mean, wouldn't you say that in your life, you're an adult now? Didn't you get help? Didn't you get therapy?
Yeah, I did get help. I think the only therapy that helped me the most was the oh my god, EMDR therapy. I think that's what it's called. EMD, and it's
Mhm.
like the healer inner child. Even though I
So,
still struggle,
so explain what that is, because we got some viewers on the line that may not know what the different types of therapy are. So just
what
explain
I
what it
remember
is.
that is just childhood trauma that you've been through. It's
Right.
all about healing the inner you, the
Right.
inner child. The child that was hurt, that was going through so much and everything. And
Hmm.
I think at first I didn't get it, but I think that helped me heal the inner child. But I still struggle and stuff like that. Still looking for another therapist and everything. But that part of healing it, and even I still got some stuff going on. But that was the dope therapy. On my podcast, I always tell people get into therapy is a must. Is important, even if you don't find a right therapist. Just keep searching and everything.
Right.
So like
And
my
you don't have to keep the therapist that you have, or the therapist that your doctor recommends. You don't have to keep them. You got to,
yeah,
or at least join a group, a group, these groups that have, if you're grieving, if you're lost, grieving with loss, if you're dealing with, you know, um, substance abuse, because all of it is tied into some sort of trauma. Like, people don't just go off the deep end and start drinking for no reason. There's always some sort of pain behind all of that,
yeah,
and so what we do is suppress it. And so when we get to adulthood, when the trauma is in childhood, and you don't address the child in you, it shows up in our adults, in our actions, in the way that we,
yeah,
um, feel about ourselves. So it's gonna come out no matter how, when we don't deal with it. And you're gonna come out much much more healthier if you do address it.
yeah,
And so you start making better choices for yourselves. You're not as tempted to, fall back or allow your triggers to run you, to, you know play a part of you staying victimized. And that's really the bottom line here, right? This is why you and I do it. This is why we advocate so hard, because we didn't have people that we could
so,
trust. And certainly there wasn't any safe haven for us to be able to feel comfortable enough to talk to our parent or someone that we love, someone that we trust. There was no safety in being able to connect with someone, to at least talk to them about our feelings. But I know that if I had that, my whole life would probably be a whole lot different. I probably wouldn't have put myself in situations that led me to be re-victimized. And we don't realize that we do that when we're constantly asking ourselves, why am I repeating the same mistakes? Why am I, still attracting the wrong type of person that I'm attracted to? Like, why do I attract that?
yeah,
And oftentimes it's because we never dealt with the little girl in us, or the little boy in us, and the trauma. So what would you like to add to that?
I like to add, just try to work on yourself, not for
Yeah.
other people. just for yourself, because I've been in that particular where I tried to work for myself, just
Mhm.
the others are just others, and it just never works. You have to work on yourself when you're truly ready. You can't force healing at all.
Yeah.
Make sure you have, like, friends around you that will understand you. Not everybody understands mental health. Not everybody understands sexual abuse. But when you get them people that understand or just sympathize with you, it's
Mhm.
so amazing. So, like, anybody out there that's like struggling, please, there's so many resources out there. I also like volunteer, with NAMI, Bucks County. I facilitate a Black Minds Matter support group, which is amazing and awesome and stuff like that. To be around people of color that look like me to just talk about mental health. There's free resources out there. A lot of people don't even know that. There's so many free
Right.
resources out there. Black Men Hill, that's based in Philly. They help you find therapy. I think it's free therapy. I'm not too sure, but I
Mhm.
feel like it's free therapy. Um, just so many resources out there.
Mhm.
Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's open 365 days. You can call them if you're bored or lonely or depressed or sad. You need someone to talk to. Like I said, I'm a couple of support groups. They don't attempt to replace therapy, but it's amazing being in a group with people who understands mental health, that won't judge you, that will get it and stuff like that. And I thank God for NAMI West County just doing that, because if before NAMI, I probably wouldn't understand mental health like I understand it now. Like
Mhm.
now, I get it. You know, it's different mental health struggles, and I can
That's right.
empathize and just help people and everything. So like before that, I probably have been like, like if I'm going through something, it may be big to me, but it may be small to someone else, or somebody's going through something, it may be big to them, maybe small to me, but now I understand it and everything. So like I said, it's free resources out there. Y'all just got to use Google, talk to somebody. The churches, if you trust your church, there are church groups and everything. A lot of churches are talking about mental health now. Not all of
They
them,
are.
but a lot of them are talking about mental health now and stuff like that.
They are. They
Wow,
are.
resources out there.
Hmm. Now, when we first started, what was it? Wasn't that the biggest concern that I have is why aren't churches, you know what I mean, being the actual hospital
Yes.
for their community for
Yeah.
such an issue like this?
Yes.
And it's an ongoing issue. There are kids being trafficked today, um, and we don't talk enough about that as a whole, as a world. And I just know the other issue that I had was just not having the support, and so that's why I'm doing this. That's why you're doing this. That's why, you know, every survivor that I've had on They Took My Choice Away, or some sort of advocate or some sort of therapist that had
Yes.
a backstory. I don't just put anybody on here if I didn't think it was going to
No.
be beneficial to the ears,
Yeah.
of people, and to the eyes of people who are actually watching this. And so I'll do this to the day I die, to
Yes.
my
Yeah.
very last breath. It's going to be advocacy for those who don't have a voice, for those who have never shared their story but can certainly sympathize. And oh man, that's why I became a poet to begin with. Um I just I couldn't be here today if I didn't hear your story. They Took My Choice Away Survivor Series wouldn't be the title if I didn't hear your story,
Yeah.
you know? And so you certainly have been my iron sharpened iron. I have pulled on you, you've pulled on me. We've been there for each other. I just want people to see who's in my immediate circle. And you are in my immediate circle. Now there are some folks that may not understand you. There are some folks that um that uh what's the word I want to say, that would probably even pass you by, right?
Yeah.
But you do have a good heart. We all do have still have, are dealing with our trauma in certain ways, and some maybe not so much as others, but let's just continue to love on each other as best as
Yes.
we can. because we're working on loving ourselves. I didn't want to make this a big drawn out thing, but if you have anything you would like to add, we certainly can close. But I just, again, this month I'm highlighting those who are in my immediate circle so you have an idea. How did Nettie come to be? We don't often talk about ourselves because we're too busy advocating, but I wanted to start with you. It had to start with you. So
Yeah.
Meek Monroe, everybody, give him his flowers because he's been a big part of my life.
But I want to say, thank you. I think it goes back from like I think we did. My aunt had a Facebook Live show,
Yep.
and I think I was first, and you might have been second.
Second. Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, her story is amazing. And from since that day, we've just been
Mm-hmm.
connected.
Yep.
We're connected, and then you've been on, now I've been on the podcast, and we started Gist series and stuff like that, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on here.
Actually, you
Um,
helped co-host a couple,
oh yeah,
and then you were like, you know what? She's got this.
yeah. And
you
like
know.
people probably wondering like why that they took my choice away, where I got that from. I always talk about like how I was sexually abused by my two male cousins, and I always say like I feel like they took my choice away, and it's up to me right now and everybody out there to take your power back. If you feel like somebody took your choice away, just do that work to try to, get your power back. It's a rough road and stuff like that. And like you said, people may pass me by. I get it. I'm on a platform where I'm talking about mental health. I'm talking about fight for your life. I'm talking about this. But sometimes I also still struggle and stuff like that. I may be suicidal sometimes or depressed. I feel alone. Mom not here, grandma not here, sister not here no more. I may feel all these emotions, different times and stuff like that, but I'm still out there fighting, even though like I'm on a break for my podcast, like a pause, put on pause real quick. But I'm trying to get that motivation to go back out and just, do
Right.
that supports, talk mental health and stuff like that. I'm on
Oh,
pause right now, but I'm
right.
gonna push play real soon. Once I get everything together, I'm gonna push play. But I just want people out there to know that, it's hard. It's hard as long as you keep fighting, as long as you have people in your corner that's gonna support you. And just keep fighting. That's all I can say. Just keep
Mm-hmm.
fighting. Betty is amazing. I want to give her flowers too because she's, somebody people from South Africa, people that she like, look up to that she's had on her show and everything. It's just some great conversations and stuff like that.
I'm definitely trying to reach the world because
Yes,
we
you
had
got
somebody from the
that.
Netherlands.
You got somebody from South Africa. I was just like, damn, girl, like, how did you find that? Like, we go to different countries. I ain't been.
That's right.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
That's
okay,
right.
yeah,
Because that's what the Lord told me to do.
yes.
So,
It's
but
amazing to see.
thank you. I just want to let everybody know this is a worldwide problem, you know. And I also want people to see that, especially with you, how you said how you were being transparent and saying, I still struggle with
Yeah,
suicidal thoughts, and I still struggle with this, but yet I'm still trying to fight. That you don't have to have it all together. You
um,
just got to put one step forward and take one step at a time
yeah,
and just do the thing. Work on that thing. Work on your mental health. Work on loving yourself. And that takes a process. This didn't take overnight. This didn't take a year. It took a course of a lifetime to get where I'm at. You know, I think I was telling my daughter the other day, I done died 3 times. I'm on my fourth life right now. I have reinvented myself over and over and over again. Um, because I'm not a quitter and I know that I have so much more to prove. I'm proving to myself as I continue to grow, as I continue to level myself, I start to see how much more, God has given me. And so much he's enlarged my territory. I have got to and if when you start to see progress, you just got to give the happy dance and the win dance like, hey, I won something today. I mean, or with me, I have a food addiction. So when I um reject a craving, that's a win today. You know what I mean? That's a win for me. So I celebrate small wins so that when the big ones come, oh man, that's something to celebrate. So take your time. You have time, and you have time to work on yourself. And don't give yourself any more excuses.
at
Just
all.
one step at a time. And then surround yourself with your support system so that when you do or do doubt, or when you feeling low about yourself, that they're there to help you pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
But learn how to also be able to encourage yourself. If that means you got to listen to the right songs to help encourage you. If that means you got to pick up the word to help encourage you, whatever it is, if you stay in an environment that's not healthy, you're not going to get better. You're not even going to,
Let me
yeah, go ahead, please.
it's crazy that you say that's it's crazy that you talk about staying in an environment that's not healthy. Like recently I just made a major change in my life where, I was working for the post office and I stopped working there. It wasn't healthy for me mentally, it just was draining me. I know black people, we say, "Oh, it's a good job, it's good benefits," but if your mental health is not good,
Right.
it's not okay. You know,
Yeah.
I accepted a job somewhere else where I'm happy. I went in the other day to work, and this people HR was like, you seem so happy," and I was like, "Oh,
That's
even,
new, right?
even though I still struggle, I put it out there because people probably see my stuff. I still struggle, but they was like, you seem real happy. It's a different you and stuff like that. And I'm not stressed out. I'm not. I go to work happy. I'm not stressed out and stuff like that. I don't know how long it will last, but I don't. I'm not stressed out and stuff like that. So that was one thing where it was in my mind, like I need to leave this job. I need to leave this job, but I never did it. I was just
Mm,
suffering
yeah.
because our community is a good job. Great benefits, but that does not mean take your mental health. I was suicidal, probably sometimes still am, but that job was suicidal. It was just like a lot. So when you said leave toxic environments, I just was like, I know I made a good choice because you see this, smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, just like when I talk about leaving them, I'll be like, yes, like so amazing. I love it.
But you also know when to take a break.
Yeah,
I love that about you. You know that when your life is like when you're fighting for yourself and you're like, hey, I'm not afraid that I have to say hey, I gotta stop the podcast for now. I gotta,
yeah,
get myself together, mentally, because this work is good, but it's hard work. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Sometimes you're reliving stories out from other people as they tell it. You know what I mean? Sometimes, so it does take does take your mind does require you to have a backbone when you're being an advocate, because there are going to be stories far worse than ours, right? I've
yeah,
come across that in, just doing the lives here, with some of the men that we've had on this platform, and the horrific things that they went through. You don't realize the opposite of what a woman goes through, a man goes through too, or a young man did too. So, whew,
yeah.
um,
I get that because like when I read your friend Robert book, the Echoes book, and I realized
mhm,
that it wasn't just me.
right,
There's stories in that, but even though that book was like real good, and then sometimes you might have to put it down, come back to it and stuff like that because it's triggering. I was like, damn, it's just not me and stuff like that. So like
right.
when I found that book, right, I always get thanks for that book. When I found that book,
You
I was
did.
like, damn, I thought I was the only one out here talking about sexual abuse, but there's other men out there that have a story,
Mhm.
and even though we all kind of been through sexual abuse, and still everybody's story may be different, everybody healing journey is different and stuff like
That's right.
that, and I think that book was dope and amazing, and I met like a good friend off of it
Mhm.
that come to brother that I could come to and everything. He had on his show, you had on your show recently, Rich is a
Mhm.
good person,
Great therapist, wonderful
good,
therapist.
yes,
And then
good,
to
amazing
even
person.
find out that he also had a backstory. I
Yeah,
just thought he was coming on to be a therapist, and he said, "Nope, the Holy Spirit told me I had to be obedient
yeah,
and be authentic." And
yeah.
yeah, I appreciated him for that
He was on my
so
podcast. He
much.
was on my podcast too.
Okay. I,
Yeah, He told his story. Yeah, I have one
Wow.
podcast and everything, but like him, Corey, just like good people that you can meet and everything. Corey wasn't in the book, but I how do I
No, but
Corey was on our event. He was on our event. He was on our event.
he was a
But it was
last minute too.
yeah,
Yeah, Corey
it was
came through.
sad, but it was like a blessing, but it was sad because
It
God
was.
Malik was supposed to be on there. He wound up passing away and everything. And shout out to Corey.
Sad. I know.
Shout out
Shout out to Corey.
yes,
Well, I mean, I love you, Lee. You know that I love you. I thank you for coming on. I thank you for taking time to be with me today. But I really wanted to highlight you. It had to start with you. So,
you're amazing.
not without you. All right. So, if there's anything else you want to add before I let you go?
No, there's nothing I want to add. I'm just saying, follow my Instagram page,
There you go.
Mental Health Check-In Pod. I'm thinking about some stuff that I can put together. Some like men talk and stuff like that. Just talk mental health more and stuff like that. I'm trying to get inspired in a season where I'm just at one job and not 3 jobs, but just one job. I got more time for myself. So I'm gonna put some stuff together. So just
we'll be patient and you'll let us know.
Yes.
As you know, always a fan, will always be a fan. I tell all my guests here, I'm forever going to be the support to you and I'm forever going to be a fan.
Yeah.
So you just let us know and we will support you.
Yes. And I will support you too. I'll support you. Just let me.
Well, I did. We talk on a regular, so.
Yeah, we haven't met. Me and Nettie have not met yet, but we're gonna meet this. We're gonna meet this year. I believe we're gonna meet this year. We haven't met yet.
Right, we haven't officially, but I just feel like I already know you.
She ain't that far. I don't think she's that far from me. I think I'm in Delaware. She in Jersey, so it ain't that far.
I told you I'd come to you.
Oh, you did say that.
So you ain't got no excuse, to be honest with you.
Did say that. We're gonna play something. I'm off every Saturday, so we're gonna.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm not off, but I do have during the day off. Oh, I'm coaching now. I don't know if I ever told you. I'm coaching my son's soccer team. Me and my oldest son.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so that's a thing on Saturdays now. And so we've already had some parents asking us if we would be willing to take the whole entire team as a whole and be part of the travel team.
Yeah.
And so we got presented that today. He like, you guys are doing so good together. So I never even thought I'd be the relationship that I have now with my adult kids. I didn't think I would ever have that. Like if I was back looking in the future, no. When I tell you I was a mess as a mother. You know what I mean? I was very toxic. And so I do talk about parent accountability.
Yeah.
The importance of that. I'm very vulnerable. I tell it all. The surprise guest on the 29th is going to be my family.
Hey.
Yeah. They're like, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm about to expose some more stuff. No, I wanted to highlight them too. I wanted to highlight them too because they've been the inspiration for me to keep going, for me to be living. You know what I mean? But my adult kids decided that they were going to join the live with me. So that'll be on the 29th. I know I spoiled it, but oh well.
Shout out to the people that you got coming up.
Yes.
Elizabeth Williams.
That's my childhood best friend.
Yes,
Yep.
Nikki D, the poet. I love Nikki. Me and Nikki used to work at Walmart together. We go way back and everything. She like to see her evolution. Her evolution from where she started, where she's at now, and stuff like that. Is amazing. You got Ambition, the poet.
Both poetry coaches.
Joanne Turner. Like I just happy to see this series. You said the last one is with your family, so that's real dope. Because they know you. Inside it out.
Yeah, and I want everybody to know who they are. They were oh man, and the relationship that I have with my daughters, that's the one that I really needed to really fix and cultivate and try to have some common ground. But I had to learn so much through therapy you know,
Yeah.
to be a better mom, you know, because I never did address any of the trauma that I had went through, and that was part of that was part of the problem. I was just
Yeah.
in the way. You know what I mean? My trauma, my heartbreaks, the way that I was raised, all of that came out of how I parented. And when we think about it, if we're honest with ourselves, we can be narcissistic towards our kids,
Yeah.
and we take our kids for granted, and we use them as as tools to get things done in a home. And not to say that chores aren't a matter of discipline, and just it's not for that. But I know, me personally, I'm talking about me, that how narcissistic I was, because I felt like I had to control everything, and just the way that I would talk to them and the way that I would yell at them, like, I really had to find some soul searching. And of course, the Lord will meet us where we are when we're finally listening.
Mhm.
When we finally actually listen, man, he'll have us plastered to the wall, just snot running down our nose, tears running down our face, realizing how horrible we were. But thank God that they're so forgiving, and thank God, you know, I didn't burn those bridges. And thank God I was able to mend them with God's help, with therapy help, and then the maturity of them. And they realized, Mom, we know you just loved us and that you were also hurting. And so it takes some mature kids to understand that.
They do.
Um, but thank God they didn't hold those things against me. Whoo, child. I don't know if I could have fixed any of it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that's it for me, Leak. I love you. You know that.
You know I
And
love you too.
you guys stay tuned for the rest. Bye.
Bye, everyone.